number 24, Big Cam Saunders. Batting 6, the right fielder, number 6, Jake Decker.
Good morning from Crawfordsville High School and the Athenian baseball field, where this morning your Athenians will be hosting the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Teams just now being introduced onto the field, and in just a minute we'll be doing the national anthem. We'll turn it over to the PA announcer, David Raynard, and the national anthem.
This time, please direct your attention to the American flag located in right field. The Crawfordsville Community School Corporation, in cooperation with the IHSAA, invite you to line up before we go back on as we honor the United States of America. Let's play Athenian baseball. Your weather.com first pitch forecast. It is currently 37 degrees.
Alrighty.
Out of the north at 16 miles per hour.
You may have just heard the weather forecast from David Raynard. Just in case you didn't, it sounds like this. Temperature, 37 degrees, skies cloudy, wind out of the northwest, 16 miles an hour. How's that sound?
Well, I think we have to get through a little cold weather to get to the warm weather. Is that right? That sound right?
Yeah, something like that. Well, this is Dan Welliver along with Gerald McMurray, and on the camera, Justin Duggar. And it is a very, very cool morning, but we're about ready to play baseball. Jared, why don't you go ahead and run through the starting lineups? We weren't able to pick those up this morning from the PA announcer.
Yeah, first for the Frankfort Hot Dogs, leading off, number 7, the shortstop, Roger Angelis. Hitting second, number 15, left fielder, Connor Boone. In the 3 spot for the Hot Dogs, number 3, the DH, Jose Valdez Sandoval. And he is hitting for Damian Lopez, the right fielder. Hitting 4th, the pitcher, number 2, Christian Lopez. Hitting 5th, number 9, the catcher, Jack Espinoza. And hitting 6th for the Hot Dogs, the center fielder, number 13, Casey Henry. And hitting 7th, number 8. Let's see, Braden Compton. Braden Compton, the first baseman, and hitting 8th, the third baseman, number 4, Deacon Spencer. And hitting 9th, the second baseman, number 1, Jade Ayers. And for your Athenians, leading off and playing first base, Will Kellerman. Hitting second and playing third base, Carson Scott. Hitting third and playing center field, Josh Blackburn. In the cleanup spot for the Athenians and doing the pitching, Austin Warren. And hitting 5th, the left fielder, Cam Saunders. And hitting 6th, the right fielder, Jake Decker. Hitting 7th, the shortstop, Cale McCarty. Hitting 8th, the catcher, Caleb Coons. And hitting 9th, the second baseman, Austin Moose.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of lineup today. We have moved Austin Moats into second base, and so that moves Carson Scott around to third and changes our infield. But they've done that before, so nothing real new there. All right, Roger Angelis is the leadoff hitter for the Hot Dogs, and he is their shortstop. Angelis is a senior. Austin Warren, first delivery of fastball over the outside corner.
11:50.
Here's the next pitch, a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit of a shortage of fans here, Jared, this morning so far, but maybe it's a late arriving crowd.
Well, with Frankfort being a late arriving team,
that's right.
They didn't want to wait around, so they went home to catch our broadcast.
You know, I do think they are aware maybe that we're doing this. I know they've been. Of course, this is a change in that we normally open with Frankfort at Frankfort. This is the first time in as long as I can. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Over is McCarty, up with it. The throw to first is high. And Sadler was an ace, E6. A little bit of a he just didn't throw the ball with much velocity and babied it over there. So Angeli's on at first base with nobody down. Warren fires to first, ball off the glove of Kellerman there, but it didn't go very far. At 37 degrees, Jared, we're maybe looking for snowflakes. I don't know. Here's a bunt attempt, goes foul to the right side. No balls, 1 strike. Connor Boone, the batter, left fielder today for the Hot Dogs. Connor Boone is only a freshman. Austin over to first base again. Runner back in plenty of time.
And that has to say something about Boone. The Hot Dogs won the conference last year, and, you know, we're kind of the favorites to compete up there in the top half once again, have a freshman hitting second.
Here's a ball fouled off the left side on a bunt attempt. So no balls and 2 strikes, yes. And the strange thing about the season last year was the fact that over the course of the season, Athenians actually defeated Frankfort 3 times and yet couldn't catch up with them for the conference. So Frankfort, a good ball club, and a fair amount of experience back this year. No balls, 2 strikes. Connor Boone, the batter. Here's a swing and a miss on a high fastball, and had Caleb Coons been ready to throw to first base that time, might have had a play as Angeles was straying away from the bag. So 1 out on the strikeout.
Hitter Jose Valdez Sandoval.
That brings up Jose Valdez Sandoval. He is the DH. And we've seen him before, and he is a good hitter. First pitch taken high, ball 1. Here's a pitch outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Coach Andy Dudley down to third base. Here's the next pitch. This is fouled off to the right side. 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner going. Here's a ball taken down the right field side and out of play. So Angeles has to go back to first base. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Wind blowing left to right, almost in some spots. At times, we're not going to see many balls flying out here today.
I don't believe so. If it would have to probably be into the right field corner, maybe with a left-handed hitter. Here's a throw to first. Runner back in time. Good hitting Christian Lopez. The pitcher for Frankfort today is on deck. Again, the throw to first base. So Austin Warren paying a lot of attention to the runner over here, and he's showing that he is willing to run. Pitch to Sandoval hangs high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Athenians undefeated so far in the conference. The only team left undefeated, but big game today.
Frankfort comes in at 2-2.
Here's a pitch, pop to the right side. Right fielder moving over, under it, and Jake drops the ball. I'm not sure about that one hand on that one right there, but the wind certainly was moving the ball. Without the wind, the ball would probably remain fair, actually, but really Jake had plenty of time.
It was almost, he tracked it well. It was almost like he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make much sense on an overcast day. But
you I don't know, scorekeeper's discretion on that. That can be ruled an error. In that case, probably. Here's a long drive out into left center field. That will not be caught. That ball is going to stop right at the base of the fence. Here's a throw. Good throw to the relay. Oh, no, we overshot the relay. Line was good, but then we just threw the ball over. I believe we had a chance to stop that run, but throw going high will not allow that to happen. So Frankfort here in the top half of the first is on the board. Give Sandoval a 2-base hit on the play.
Yeah, and I believe technically you're right about the error. I think that's an error on Decker, and that's
yes,
and that's an unearned run.
Yes, it is. So runner at second with one down.
It was unearned anyways because
yes, he was on an error to start with.
Should be 3 outs in the inning.
Yes, that is the sad truth. Here's a breaking ball. That's going to stay inside. Ball 1. Christian Lopez, wearing number 2, right-handed hitter, and he also has some power. Long pause by Warren. Now he steps off. Here's the breaking ball. That one gets to the inside corner, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 run in, 1 man on. Here's the breaking ball again. This hangs high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Austin Warren out of the stretch and the pitch. This one's inside, gets away from Coons. The runner will advance. Coons wisely puts that one in his pocket. It's probably going to go as a pass ball, though. So the Athenians not sharp on the field right now, to say the least. Here's the breaking ball too high, and it'll be ball 4, so Lopez on down to first base. So runners at first and third, only 1 down. That'll bring up the catcher, Jack Wilkins. Little conference with Coach Dudley there before he comes to bat as pitching coach Rhett Wolver decides we need to have a little meeting on the mound.
Yeah, lost control of his command there, that last hitter after giving up the hard hit ball.
Well, that and two, I think you might have said the same thing you just said. There should have been 3 outs.
In his mind, he knows that. It's tough to mentally get refocused. You know that you should be out of the inning. And instead, you spotted the Hot Dogs with 1-0 lead, but you want to make sure it stays at 1-0. You come back, Warren Stuff's good enough. He can get 2 straight strikeouts.
Well, got to think that the Hot Dogs may go ahead and run this first and third pretty quickly here. All right, Wilkins waiting on the pitch. This one's down and away. Nobody moving that time.
I tell you, when it's this cold and it's damp and
hard to play.
It is, and as a pitcher, it's really hard to get a good grip on the ball, and I think that's why he's been a little errant with his off-speed pitches.
Up and away, ball 2.
That's 2 fastballs he's missed.
Here's the pitch, 1 ground ball, second base. Moats on to second, back to first, and a double play. So, pitcher's best friend gets the Athenians out of trouble here as it goes 4-6-3 double play. But at the end of 1/2 inning play, the Hot Dogs lead it. They came up with 1 run on 1 hit, and they had 1 runner left on base. So, really, Jared, I thought Warren looked pretty good. He's throwing hard, really, considering everything. And I said we had to get the extra outs there, and that's always tough on any pitcher.
If your fingers are numb at all, it's tough to grip the ball. There's a little bit of moisture and the wind. People don't realize how much the wind affects pitching. It does. I mean, if you're throwing 95-mile fastball, maybe not, but especially your off speed, it's gonna play with it, especially with, and it should be aiding a right-handed curveball a little bit. I would think.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're throwing a good hard fastball. Of course, if you're throwing into the wind with that good hard fastball or breaking ball,
exactly,
you're going to have a little change in direction there. But I really thought he looked pretty good, and might have been a little frustrated there just for a second, but I think that he has to feel pretty satisfied.
He'll
and
bounce back, though.
Certainly the one double play ball there made all the difference in what could happen there.
Great turn there great job by Moats to start the turn.
And I will say this, I do not know why, and we're the same way. With less than 2 outs in that kind of situation, coaches are reluctant to run the first and third.
Yep.
And I don't know, it may not have been right, but
I would have been going on the first pitch.
But you got it.
And he had the lead where he acted like he was going to go, but he.
Yeah. When I was standing in the third box, coaching box at third, I would not hesitate to run that through. And you know,
9 times out of 10, you're going to be safe.
You're going to be. I tell you what, at least half the time in that situation, they're not going to offer to throw.
That's what I mean. And even if they do, 9 times out of 10, that run for third can be safe.
Yep.
And there's no harm in sending them in the first inning when you already have a 1-0 lead.
Yep.
I mean, anytime you have a chance to, especially with Mr. Lopez there on the mound for the Hot Dogs, he's been terrific in his career. One of the top returning pitchers in the conference. 1-0 lead to him is very, very beneficial for the Hot Dogs. And this is like we mentioned, Crawfordsville 4-0 in the conference, Frankfort 2-2, and Crawfordsville's had the Hot Dogs number, especially last year, like you mentioned. 3 times they beat them, and that included that non-conference win in the third place game of the Athenian invite.
Yeah, it's kind of sometimes hard to figure, but it was strange. The other thing that was strange about the conference last year is how poorly Danville played early and how good they played late.
And that was the kicker, Frankfort.
Ground ball right side. First baseman has it, and Will Kellerman is out on 1 pitch. Grounds weakly to first.
Frankfort caught Danville early, and then they also had the pitching to stop Tri-West's bats. Remember, Tri-West had all the offense with no pitching. And then Frankfort split with North Montgomery, or maybe even swept them, which was kind of a surprise there by both parties.
Yeah.
With the pitching, they were able to hit North Montgomery's pitching, really the only team in the conference to do so.
Carson Scott, your batter. Again, Carson moving over to third base today with Austin Moats in at second. Austin, the one that started that double play, so good sign there for the young freshman. Here's a pitch taken for a strike. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't have batting statistics today, and yet I've got a feeling that Carson Scott probably still leading the team in on-base percentage. I tell you, though, man on deck, Josh Blackburn, has really been wielding a good bat as of late.
Yes, he has.
2 balls and 1 strike as that one comes in high. Carson always a threat to lay down a bunt. Probably a good play today with the ground being a little wet, but good fielder on the hill out there, too, that
yes.
Maybe makes you think a little bit different. There's one down, and the 3-ball 1 count on Carson
Spencer
Scott.
playing in the grass at third, not too deep in, but about 8 feet in front of the bag.
All right, Lopez looking in now, ready to bring the 3-1, and that one is up high, and so Carson Scott on down to first base. So runner aboard for the Athenians. That does bring up Josh Blackburn, and Josh, very aggressive hitter, but he just been really getting the meat of the bat on the ball consistently. Carson Scott, threat to steal. Here's a pitch taken for a strike. Long look in by Lopez. Scott off to the races. Here's the throw down. It goes through the second baseman, and Scott in safely. Second pitch called a strike, so it goes to 0-2 on Josh Blackburn. Well, pardon me. Scoreboard was wrong there. I said it right, 0-2, and scoreboard was 1-1. Okay, we got threat now with the runner at second base. We need Josh put the ball in play. Here's the pitch, swung on a miss, and there's his aggressiveness, maybe getting the best part of him, as Lopez offered one up there well off the plate and well up out of the strike zone.
Good location for an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, that was definitely the pitcher's pitch, and that's 2 down. That brings up the pitcher, Austin Warren. Austin drives one into right center field. That should get down, and it is down. And the Athenians have tied the ball game. Austin on his way now to second base, and he'll be there standing with a 2-base hit. So Austin Warren brings the Athenians even now with a 1-1 ball game. Looked like that pitch kind of almost got in on him a little bit, yet he got a lot of good bat on the ball and found the big hole. And there was the right fielder was pretty close to the line, which you can understand today with the wind sweeping the ball in that direction. But, boy, they left a tremendous hole out there in right center field.
He was patient and waited for the pitch to come to him and drove it the other way. And how many high school teams other than Crawfordsville do you know that teach their hitters to hit the ball the other way? There's not many.
Well, you're right about that, and yet I know the frustration. Here's the first pitch to Cam Saunders. The frustration on the days when they fail to do that, and that happens a lot of times when you have the guy with lower velocity and the ball looks so big and they start wanting to jerk the thing. So sometimes, the discipline slips away, but yes, you're right. Here's the pitch taken for a strike. Count evens. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Your Athenians are tied now with the Hot Dogs. Come up with a big run with Austin Warren doubling to right center. Lopez steps off. Steps off again as the second baseman jumps over there, and really no threat for a pickoff play, but slows the action. Ready again, and here's the pitch. Swung on and missed at a breaking ball that ended up off the corner. So Cam behind on the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Long pause once again. And now time is called at the plate. Good baseball there by 24. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Ball gets away from the catcher, but there's plenty of time. It gets it on down to first base for out number 3. So in the inning for the Athenians, they come up with 1 run on 1 run, 1 hit, and I'm not sure what he said on errors there for.
No errors.
No errors. Okay. So at the end of 1, it's a very even 1-1 ball game. Each team also collecting 1 base hit. And Jared, I see our ground crew out there already.
Yeah, you're going to have to, continue to add some clay there in front of the mound. I'm sure they have some type, but normally a lot of times when I remember playing, if it was muddy, you'd tape 2 popsicle sticks together and you'd leave it out there behind the mound for the pitcher to wipe off his feet with. It just gets muddy. That clay, and that's what they're doing here. Coach Bean is spreading some diamond dry, and that helps keep her dry out there, because I know that feeling all too well when you got about 2 inches thick of clay in your cleats. Yeah. It's tough to pick up that foot and move forward toward the plate. So
yeah, and we still got a little mist flying around in the air.
It's not going to dry up by any means.
Yeah. Although I'll say this, I actually think with the wind that we've got, it is actually overall probably drying a little bit.
It is.
The wind is more of a factor than the little mist right now.
You'd be surprised at how dry it was by 6 o'clock last night with a little bit of rain. I mowed yards all day yesterday, I'll tell you. And by the end of the day, it was a lot drier than it was at 8 a.m. So the wind, even though we haven't seen the sunshine, which sounds like we're going to get it tomorrow, and hopefully a good week weather-wise for baseball and softball this coming week. Hopefully get all our games in. I know the Athenian softball team, their makeup with the Western Moon is going to be next Friday, I believe. So, and Athenians baseball and softball in action next week against Lebanon. So that's their conference opponent. So it should be some hard-fought games there. Tigers they have some talent. They have a top pitcher in the conference as well, in Harker,
who ironically lost big time to these Frankfort hot dogs.
They did. They split with Frankfort. It was a high-scoring game one time, and then a blowout win by Frankfort in the other. So, and then Frankfort also split with Danville. Danville's maybe the team with the biggest question mark in the conference. They lost a lot.
They lost.
And like you mentioned, their struggles last year. A lot of people thought they were going to run away with the conference last year between them and Tri-West, and they. But they ended the season strong, and they did lose a lot of talent. So,
all right, ready to go. Time half of inning number 2, and that brings up Casey Henry. Here's the pitch taken for a ball. Casey Henry, one of the seniors. Next pitch swung on a miss. Count evens 1 ball, 1 strike. Athenian fans braving it here today and well dressed as they should be. Here's a line drive, 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hop on to first base from McCarty for out number 1. Good job, Cale, staying with that one. I'm down to playing golf now, and one thing I noticed about golf, you have different situations almost every day you go out there because of the either wetness or the wind or what have you. That's the case right there where the ball reacted differently when it gets to the dirt as opposed to what it would a normal situation.
Good to see Cale be able to make that play after the airmail throw in the first, and then also he had 2 plays where he had errors last Saturday, the same type of ball.
and overall this season has played really good shortstop. Here's the second pitch, which evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Braden Compton, the first baseman. Next pitch fouled off into the net. So Austin Warren ahead on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, see, I can refer to this as a late arriving crowd, Jared.
You weren't
they kind of keep sliding in here. Here's the pitch, swung on a miss on a breaker down and away. Good job by Austin Warren getting that pitch in the proper spot.
Either that or it's the JV parents arriving
Well,
a little early for the game they thought was going to start at 1.
Okay, you've got a point. You've got a point.
They're going to
there.
get a rude awakening when they realize we're only in the top of the second inning.
Here's the pitch, and that one is fouled into the hot dog dugout and back out again. We are covered here, Jared, but I noticed that here's the next pitch in there, fastball at the knees. So Austin ahead on the count, 0-2. The canopy that we have over us is not really keeping the rain out. You notice that?
The wind is pushing the rain right to mist. It's not raining very hard. Even when standing out in it, you can't tell that it's raining, but just hard enough to be a nuisance.
Third pitch to Spencer is down, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. Next pitch swung on, fouled over to the softball complex. A little change today, as we mentioned in the infield, with Carson Scott moving to third. Austin Moats moving into second base. Here's a breaking ball, hit right side. Kellerman over, knocks it down. Now he'll run to the bag easily. Beat the runner for out number 3. So first baseman unassisted there, and 1, 2, 3. More to the Athenians' likings there.
Yep.
So in the inning, top half second, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Hot Dogs, and Athenians coming to bat. Well, I mentioned earlier, and I got to thinking, I wondered, did we flip-flop home away on schedules this year, or was that just because?
I'm not certain with the Frankfort. I don't remember.
Well, I know this because Frankfort has been the only game that we've been doing in the conference that's away from home. And we've been doing that every Saturday morning. Yeah, okay. And we actually been, most of the time, we'd even webcast the JV game over at Frankfort. And so this game itself, I know has changed, but I just got to thinking, I hadn't really looked at that close. I wonder if all of the home and aways have been reversed.
Usually you just alternate every year.
Yeah.
But they could have worked out a deal where they were trying to keep it the same, just depending on.
Well, one good thing, used to be we weren't doing the softball and the baseball in rhythm with one another for a while either. And I think that's been an improvement, unless you've got a son and a daughter that played at the same time, but you can't win on that anyway, can you?
That's true. But you come to places like this in Western Boone and some other sites where they're backed up to each other.
Exactly.
It helps, matters a ton. But I think you're right. It's an improvement to have them on the same night, same location for everybody.
Jake Decker.
All right, here we go. Bottom half of the second inning, a 1-1 ball game. Jake Decker playing right field today. We'll lead it off for Athenians. He'll be followed by McCarty and Caleb Coons, and we hope many more. First pitch in there by Lopez is a strike.
And Jake Decker later this week or next week is going to commit to he's going to go on and play college ball at Grace College.
All right. Here's a ball fouled straight back and out of play.
And if my memory serves me correctly, he won't be the first former Athenian. Jay Strickland.
Okay, yes.
Grace after he spent time at IUPUI and left. IUPUI's baseball team disbanded.
Here's a ball again fouled back. That's we'll get little time, Jared, you might go ahead and actually talk about some of our area players that have having a real good season this year at college ball.
Yep. And the biggest one, Trent Johnson, he's actually going to get the start today. He started some games last year for Purdue. They thrown him in the rotation this weekend. They're at Rutgers. That's a 1 o'clock game. I'm sure potentially, I don't know this for a fact, but it might be on Big Ten Network or Big Ten To Go. You can catch Trent pitching for the Boilermakers in New Jersey. They're taking on Rutgers in a Big Ten weekend series.
Here's a ball taken to right field. The wind is taking that foul. There is a ball, even though it wasn't that high, that probably without that wind had a real good chance of staying fair. But, of course, the ball off the right end of the bat's going to skew toward the right field line, but that would have been close. Anyway, a good job of hanging in there by Jake and making Lopez work. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. Senior Jake Decker. Here's the pitch. This was taken up. Ball 1. Here's the next pitch, and this is down, and count even is 2-2. Jared, do you think we ought to check and see if Mr. Duggar's the guilty party putting this awning up here today? Did you put this up, Justin?
Yeah, your son and I did it.
Here's a pitch called for a strike, and Jake goes down. Okay, well, I thank you for doing that. I didn't mean to say it wasn't helping any when I said the rain's still coming in, but we appreciate you getting that up here.
And McCarty steps in for the Athenians.
He takes us into right field for a base hit. A line drive between first and second, and the Athenians with a man on and 1 down here. Bottom half of inning number 2 in a tie ball game, and good to see it. You know, bottom of the order sometimes has to do their share. You don't maybe expect them to keep up with the overall statistics on a season, but there are ball games when the bottom half of the order makes all the difference. I don't know how many times I've seen the number 9 hitter get the biggest hit in a ball game, so good to see that out of McCarty. Here's the pitch, and this is taken for a strike as catcher Caleb Kuhn steps in. Mentioned several times this year how Caleb has really been coming along as a catcher and seems to improve every game, throw to first and Cale back in plenty of time. Still a fairly young lineup for the Athenians. A lot to look forward to. Here's the pitch, and this is taken for strike 2, the breaking ball, and that had Caleb just jumping just a little bit there, not reading the ball right away. So he's down the count 0-2. Coach Froge with an encouraging word there. Here's a throw to first.
They're talking about other former athletes excelling in college level. Former Athenian Chase Dow pitching for Marion. He's had 2 or 3 really strong outings.
Here's a pitch that hits Coons, and he's going to take a second to kind of shake it off. He got nailed pretty good on one up and in, and so down to first base goes Coons, and on to second base goes Cale McCarty. So threat underway for the Athenians here in the bottom of inning number 2. Yeah, Chase Dell, fine Athenian pitcher, and doing well. We're going to get a courtesy runner here. He would be doing that anyway as Andrew Martin goes down to take Caleb's place at first base. Now, Frankfort contesting a little bit, but I thought that was pretty clear.
He didn't have time to get out of the way. I mean, he threw it right into the batter's box. It's not like Coons was hanging over the plate.
Right.
Yeah, Dow just one of several area athletes, area baseball players having success for Marion. They're having another fine season, a little bit above 500. They have had some successful seasons. Coach Todd Bacon, a local guy, is their coach. He's coached a little bit of everything at Marion in his time there, and his son Maverick Bacon, North Montgomery former star, is one of their top hitters. Bailey Adams, who played at North Montgomery, and then Leo Lopez from Frankfort, also a regular starter for the Knights.
Yeah, Leo really was a great high school pitcher and hitter. Well, here's a pitch. We faked the bunt, and the third baseman is way in, and the shortstop is way behind. And so good job by Cale McCarty. He just kind of rambled on down to third without any interference there whatsoever. First pitch taken for a strike. This is Austin Moats. Again, Austin playing second base today, left-handed hitter. Now we got a guy that's not a burner but runs well down first base. Again, now we can make a choice here. This is a little bit different situation in one way because the next batter's at the top of the batting order, and we don't want to lose one on the but we're going. And this is bunted, and I'm not sure what play that was because we're bunting and we're not squeezing, and I'm not sure. In any case, the count is 0-2 on Austin Moats. Well, first of all, Austin didn't get his bat around nearly in time to bunt the ball fair, but it was like he wasn't definitely in a suicide squeeze. He wasn't really squeezing as a safety squeeze, as it were. It looked like he was trying to bunt for a hit up to the last second. But in any case, really needs to put the ball in play right here.
Might see a pitch out coming.
Runner going. Ground ball right side. Good job of hitting by Moats. That'll bring in a run. RBI for number 2. Throw back to second, but Martin back in plenty of time. So Austin with an 0-2 count, putting that ball in play and getting the RBI.
The first baseman, Will.
And you'll take
Fetterman.
runs any way you can get them against.
Well,
like
absolutely.
Lopez.
Absolutely.
And that was made. That was
Well,
able to happen. Started with McCarty's.
that was
up play, still third.
A lot of our people, would say this, and it's true. But that was another example of Athenian small ball.
It is. No question.
Good base running by Cale McCarty getting to third base. If he's not on third, he doesn't score on that, and just really.
And I tell you, it makes a difference. It just does. And I've seen, in the short beginning of the season, I've seen Southmont start to do the same thing, being just heads up on the bases. Southmont struggled against Tri-West on Tuesday night, but they scored 8 runs. They didn't have a lot of hits, but they scored 8 runs because they got on base and did nice things and got on different ways. Crawfordsville has always been keen to that, and it just your success, you don't have to drive the ball to score runs. And when you're facing a pitcher like Lopez, if you can get on base, you're smart at the plate, you're aggressive but patient, you're going to score runs.
I'll hit that again in a minute. Smart at the plate. I hit that again. Anyway, here we go. Top of the batting order now. This is Will Kellerman. He takes the first pitch up and away. Will grounded out on the first pitch he saw to the first baseman, and so a little more patient here. Base hit will drive in another run for the Athenians. Here is a throw to second, and he's back in time. Mentioned several times that young Andrew Martin, last year as a freshman, got a lot of experience running the bases because he was a courtesy runner for pitchers and catchers. Here's the pitch. Here's the ball off the hands, fouled to the third baseman. He's under it and has it. So Will got jammed big time on that one and didn't get much bad on it. So the Athenians, however, do come up with 1 run on 1 hit, and after 2 full, they lead it by a score of 2-1. Well, let me go back to that smart at the plate. And I don't mean to throw dispersion on other coaches or philosophies, But one of the things that Coach Froge has done for a long, long time is put on more takes than any other coach in this area, and which, by the way, I've always agreed with, because really what it amounts to, and I think you can look at other teams and see where sometimes they let down on this, and I call it taking what the other team is willing to give you.
Yep.
You know, if I've got a guy that's throwing 4, 5, 6 balls in a row, I probably don't need to swing my bat on the next pitch. And the truth of the matter, you know, you can say all you want to about a 2-0, and again, it's a little different at different levels of play, whether you were talking about major leagues or college or high school. But in high school, if I got a 2-0 count, and especially if I've already walked a guy,
right,
then why would I be swinging my bat?
At the college and especially the professional level, those guys are so good that if they need a strike, 99% of the time they can throw it. So you can expect a strike on the 2 or the 3-0. But when the kid's thrown 6 straight, he walked the kid in a 4-pitch walk.
There's a problem out there.
There's a problem. He's not going to build this rock and fire. Now, there may be a rare exception. If he takes a little off, he might throw one. But I don't think it's worth swinging. And you're giving that pitcher back confidence if you swing and miss when he's throwing 4 or 5 straight balls in a row.
All right, here's the first pitch. It's in there to Ayers, a little bit low. Next pitch, taken for a strike at the knees count. He was 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1 ball game as we go here to the top half of inning number 3. Your Athenians leading over the Frankfort Hot Dogs. Next pitch popped into center field. The wind's going to take that one a bit. Center fielder Josh Blackburn over and brings it in for out number 1. A little ways to run, but they set Ayers down.
We'll see how Warren approaches back to the top of the order. Like you mentioned, felt like he pitched pretty well that first inning, but
yeah, a little letdown on the defense.
Walked one, got.
Here's a bunt. Oh, it's going to be foul, and that's a good thing because the young man runs well, and we would not have had a play, but he's down a strike now.
Yeah, he runs very well. We gave McCarty an error there in the first inning. It would have been a bang-bang play with a good throw.
Yes. Next pitch down, ball 1, strike 1. There's one of those deals when you kind of miss a bunt or fake a bunt. A lot of times the catcher will not hang on to the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And they did say he continued to square around. He did not. He offered. He did not pull back in time. So
breaking ball right there for strike 3, and he knew it.
Yes, he
did. He was on his way almost before the ball was in the catcher's glove. Angeles was on his way to the dugout.
Left fielder Connor Boone.
Hey, Connor Boone steps in. He's a left fielder for Frankfort. Ground ball left side. Right through the glove. And here's a throw, and will not be in time. But give credit there to Caleb McCarty staying alert. I don't know exactly what happened, whether Scott took his eye off the ball or not out there, but I don't think he got much glove on it, and it was a nice, it looked like from here anyway, an easy up.
Yep, looked like a hole in his glove.
So another Athenian error there, and that goes E5, another runner for the Hot Dogs. Here's a pitch on the inside part and off the plate, so ball 1. Not a good place to turn it over there. Now we bring really the best 2 hitters, I believe, on the ball club up. or at least one of them. Here's a nice breaking pitch taken for a ball. Must have been a little high, Jared. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 down. Runner leads away at first base. I'm guessing he's not going. Here's the pitch. This is swung on and missed. Sandoval, last time up, doubled deep to left center field. A ball that might have had a chance of getting out of here without the wind, Jared. Here's a fastball outside.
He definitely hit it hard. Right in the gap.
3 balls, 1 strike. Here's a ball fouled straight back over the press box. So the count goes full. Now I will guess he will be going. If he doesn't, somebody missed the program. Here's a pitch. Taken strike 3 on the outside corner. Sandoval taking a pitch that was marginal, and really that's one of those cases where if it's close enough to call, you better be swinging the bat.
Yep.
So called strike 3 ends the top half of inning number 3. Your Athenians continue to lead it by a score of 2-1. So kind of another error that we'd like not to have there, but nonetheless, we get out of the inning. Good job again by Austin Warren, maintaining his concentration out there and throwing the ball hard. Oh, Jared, I was going to ask you. Honestly, I forgot to even look, so I don't know. On the Tuesday and Thursday next week, which game will be here?
We will be here on Tuesday night,
okay.
And then at Lebanon on Thursday.
Okay.
Elsewhere in the conference, North Montgomery plays Frankfort. I believe they're at home on Tuesday and then at Frankfort on Thursday. And then Southmont is at Western Boone on Tuesday and at home on Thursday. So that leaves Tri-West and Danville? Yeah, Tri-West and Danville. Yeah. So a Hendricks County matchup next week. And that'll be good games in both softball and baseball. So we should have some competitive games. North Montgomery, they're really struggling in baseball. They'll look to get things going. Their game against Western Boone today got canceled. Southmont and Danville are getting rolling at 1 o'clock, I believe.
Okay.
They were supposed to play at 10. They pushed that back a little bit. So right now in the standings, Danville, I believe, is 2-1, and Southmont 3-1. They're the only one-loss teams, with the exception of Crawfordsville, who's 4-0.
Okay, here we go with Carson Scott. Carson reached base on a walk, his first at bat.
Actually, I believe Lebanon is 3-1 too. They swept Western Boone and split with Frankfort.
Carson came around to score first Athenian run. Well, I know you keep better track of it than I do. I have a general idea, but I miss some of the things that are going on, and I think that I'd looked at this season to start with, said it's going to be, I think, a little bit of an interesting season, but I really felt like Conference might be down a little bit with the loss of players like North Montgomery, Tri-West, Danville, all big graduations, and
so far that's been correct, and I think the two favorites were Frankfort and Crawfordsville. I think that was. And I'm kind of surprised that Frankfort split with both Lebanon and Danville.
I am too,
I thought maybe they lose one game in there, but if Crawfordsville can win this game, it really sets themselves up.
2-2 on the way, and that's taken for a strike 3. So something a little off speed, and that really fooled Carson. He doesn't take many third strikes, but that one caught him off guard.
I tell you, as Blackburn steps in, if Southmont continues to play well with it being as late as it is. Crawfordsville is at 36, I believe, straight wins over Southwell, something like that. It's in the 30s.
It's big, yeah.
It'd be an interesting series if it really had big conference implications.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think Southmont has a good chance to finish higher in the conference than they've finished in a long, long time. Here's a ground ball right side. Second baseman up with it on to first base, and so that's quickly 2 down here for the Athenians.
Lopez settling in here, second time through the order.
The pitcher, Austin Warren.
Well, Austin Warren up with a real big hit in the first inning. He takes this pitch for a strike. Austin with one of the 2 RBIs for the Athenians as he doubled into right center field. Second pitch is down to count even at 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down here in the bottom half of inning number 3. Our Athenians lead it 2-1. Here's the pitch, and this is back to the backstop. On deck hitter Cam Saunders quickly retrieves the ball. No let up in the wind, Jared. Flag to our right field line, standing straight out.
I think it was supposed to pick up as the day went on, in fact.
Here's a ground ball left side. Third baseman over, has it in his glove on to first base for out number 3. So 3 up and 3 down here in the bottom of the third. Your Athenians continue to lead the ball game by a score of 2-1. The totals after 3 innings of play: the Frankfort Hot Dogs 1 run and 1 hit and no errors. Your Athenians 2 runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors. I don't know. Do you agree with those totals, Jared?
Let's see. Definitely the 2 errors for Crawfordsville, and if you're
maybe a third.
I don't
on that foul
there's
ball.
Rules about that.
Yeah,
I think since he did get on, technically it is an error.
It is an error. I think that's exactly right. But
they definitely do just have 2 hits. Hits by McCarty and Warren, and for Frankfort, the error came. When did Frankfort make an error?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Sorry, I'm looking at hits. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yep, just 1 hit for Frankfort, and that was Sandoval back in the first. That double, that was the big hit for the Hot Dogs. That came after the drop ball by Decker. And it does. The foul territory makes a difference. They say they've done metrics at the old Coliseum in Oakland where the athletics play, where it's still a football stadium, so it's real big foul ground territory. And they've done metrics and studies that have shown the difference in batting averages if it wasn't such a big, because of the balls that would normally in most stadiums be in the stands that are caught. So those shot balls, those failed to really make a difference.
Well, in the professional game over the years, the new ballparks have all been really built with less foul ground. And
even at Wrigley Field, they've removed the bullpens from the field. They've tightened the foul territories even more than they already were.
And here's the first pitch to Christian Lopez, taken down. Lopez drew a base on balls his first time at bat. Next pitch taken at the knees, strike 1. Ground ball up the middle over his Moats. He knocks it down on the first base, and he's out.
Bang, bang.
A little delayed call there, and it was a very close play. And no argument out of the Hot Dogs there. So Lopez, who did not run real well, Moats really doing a good job staying calm under fire there and made the play 4-3 for 1 out here in the top half of the 4th. Here's a pitch fouled back by Jack Wilkins, the catcher. Wilkins is a junior. He asked for time, and 'tis given. Foul ball to the right side, out of play. Scott, McCarty, Moats, and Kellerman left to right on the infield. Here's the 0-2. This is down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2. This is taken a little bit outside. Breaking ball. Good location. Good job of hitting by not offering.
Don't get in the mud.
This one swung on a miss at a fastball over the inside part of the plate. So 2 down. That brings up the center fielder, Casey Henry. Outfielder Saunders, Blackburn, and over and right, that's still old Jake out there. Here's a swing and a miss. Ball taken right down the center. Here's a big breaker. It hangs high. Most of the pitching time going with 3 guys this year. Jake Decker, I just mentioned, out in right field, being one of the 3. Here's a fly ball. That's in the right center field. Jake is over, he's under, and he has it for out number 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now this game beginning to move a little faster, Jared.
I don't think there are too many people at the ballpark complaining about that.
You're right.
Yeah, as expected, though, with the 2 pitchers on the mound.
Well, I think that's right.
I was honestly surprised to see both teams put up runs in that first inning, but it was some unconventional guys getting on base and then 2 big hits. That's what did it.
Yeah.
The
Well,
were able to manufacture a run there in the second. They took the lead. I won't be surprised if the final score is 2-1. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, let's see. I tell you, one dugout would be quite pleased with 2-1.
It's going to be interesting to see how each team handles their pitchers as far as the pitch count. You know that Coach Froge isn't expecting to use Austin again until Thursday,
Right.
So his 120 pitches would allow him to have full rest until Thursday. We don't know what Frankfort's depth looks like pitching. We don't know what their schedule looks like, right off the top of our head, other than their 2 games with North Montgomery. In their mind, they probably feel like they're comfortable with, saving Christian until Thursday, which would be the same situation.
Right.
I don't know what Frankfort has past Christian Lopez.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, and you probably know this. I don't even know this for sure, whether Christian Lopez has both of the wins and the other pitcher has both of the losses.
I'm
So
I'm assuming that's the case,
it's pretty easy to assume. Yeah.
The one game that Lebanon beat Frankfort was high scoring. I don't imagine that Lopez was pitching in that game, but stranger things have happened, I guess. And then Danville, I don't know what the scores were of those 2 games.
All right, Cam Saunders, the left fielder, stepping in for the Athenians. Cam with a strikeout, his first at bat. Here's the pitch. This is swung on a miss. Same pitch that he struck out on almost. Cam pulling off the ball just a little bit, especially on that breaker. Next pitch is there for a strike at the letters. No balls, 2 strikes. Cam Saunders, senior left fielder, and one of those 3 guys we talked about sharing most of the pitching duties. The other 2 that have had some pitching time would be Cale McCarty at shortstop and Will Kellerman, the first baseman. Here's a 1-2. That's down. The count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jake Decker on deck. He'll be followed by Cale McCarty. A 2-2. Swung on line drive center field. That'll be down. So a good job of hitting. That was really the same pitch that Cam's been having trouble on, but that was left more over the center of the plate, and he went down and got it. So a good single to center field. Good start to the top half of inning, the bottom half of inning number 4.
The right fielder, Jake Decker.
The aforementioned Jake Decker now to the plate. Possible bunt situation. Jake, pretty reliable bunter. Here's the square. Here's the attempt, and that's a one. You just got to pull your bat back.
When it's not a button run,
exactly. It's a ball, and
starting on the mound today at Rutgers for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Coach Frode's running through the signals down there. Wouldn't be surprised to see the same situation here. Jake actually showed it up there as the throw went to first base, but he had started sliding his hands on the bat, so it appears the bunt is still on. Here's the pitch. Takes this one down. Here's the throw. Low. Goes again past the second baseman. Shortstop, it went past the shortstop, and the second baseman trying to fake that it went all the way to center field, but we're not buying that. Cam's played a few ball games before. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, interesting here because a lot of times the Athenians go ahead and bunt the guy to third base, but you're in the bottom of the order. See what we do. Oh, he pops it up. Didn't get his bat out front, and really not a good bunt attempt that time. So he's behind on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, again, sometimes Coach Frodes keeps it on with 2 strikes. I doubt it right here. I really doubt it, but on the other hand, I wouldn't be totally surprised. Timeout at the plate.
If you could get that runner to third with just 1 out. A lot of different ways you could score him.
Yeah, you got a couple of young guys coming up, kind of what you might call rookies. Here's the pitch for strike 3, and so tough at bat that time for Jake. All right, Cale McCarty up, and Cale with a base hit his first time. Third baseman still right up to the grass. Here's the pitch taken, and it's a steal, and he's in there. Ball gets by, but the backup is by the shortstop. So now we do have that runner at third base. A little fake bunt steal.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Espinosa's he's been having trouble that last 2 times getting the ball out of his glove. Each attempt is the third stolen base for the Athenians. Each attempt has gotten worse by Espinosa to get the runner out.
Here's a squeeze, and we miss the ball. He's back into third, however. Well,
luck of the draw there.
Yeah.
He's going to come out. Coach Frankfort's going to come out and argue out of the baseline, but he slid back and all. He still had it. I mean, he was right there and hugged the bag. I mean, it was. He gets. I don't know what the rule is. There's a. I don't know if it's a written rule, unwritten rule of space you get on each side of the line.
It always ends up on that being a judgment kind of thing.
But there is, you get an allotted space. I mean, if he runs out of the baseline, it's usually going to be noticeable. And that time was not noticeable. That, Frankfort's coach can come out and argue all he wants, but that was a misplay by his third baseman.
Yes.
Not to apply the tag. I mean, he waited for he thought Saunders was just going to run right into him. And
yeah. Well, catcher might have waited just a little long, actually, to deliver the ball to him. But, yeah, it was not well handled by the Hot Dogs to the advantage of the Athenians. Now we're going to check on maybe whether the pitch was a strike or a ball.
Okay.
Yeah, the board right now has 2-0, but I'm not sure. I thought, yeah, okay.
He is going to say
it was a strike, and I think that's correct, actually.
He continued to offer, yeah. He offered all the way and couldn't get the butt down. It was a pitch that was low.
So McCarty with 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 4th, Athenians lead it 2-1, trying to add on right here. Here's the pitch. Cale squares, takes this for a strike, and I'm not sure about our bunting game. Last couple of hitters here are struggling. And so down on the count now, 1-2, and big spot to put the ball in play here as the Hot Dogs are in on the grass all the way around now. Pitch to the plate, swung on, foul back. Fastball that appeared to be pretty much down the center of the plate. Maybe down in the zone a little bit. Cale, a good swing. Cam Saunders coming off of third base. Short lead there. Here's the pitch. Swung on, taken foul down the right field line. Got a lot of bat on the ball. All the way to the corner down there, but a little late getting around. Be a big add-on run here if the Athenians could tack one on here, because as you mentioned earlier, nobody'd be surprised if it remained as 2-1, but good chance here. Here's the pitch, taken down in the dirt. Catcher Wilkins knocks it down. Lopez taking a little walk out there, thinking about it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a timeout to play. Good job by Cale McCarty. A lot of long pauses in this ball game today by the pitchers.
Lopez, he's really taking his time all the way around. He's taking his time getting back to the rubber.
All right, the 2-2. Breaking ball stays too high. Cale was dodging out of the way. I think the ball ended up getting pretty close to the plate, actually. But
I think it definitely was out of the zone.
Yeah, it was up, I'm sure, yeah. But 3 balls, 2 strikes now, and Lopez needs a strike. Here's the pitch. He takes it to left field. We're tagging on this one. It's not too deep, but here comes the throw. Can he outrun the ball? And he's going to be out at the plate. Good job on the relay as the left fielder got it right to the third baseman in line, who delivered a perfect throw to the plate. But that's a play you've got to make anyway, and that time it didn't work out, but the Athenians had to make them make the play.
Yeah, yeah, you're running all the way. They had to make an almost perfect throw. The relay was terrific and it ended up being a lot shallower than it looked to be off the bat as well. So,
yeah. Well, again, the wind knocking that down. I expect we could add at least 10 extra feet onto that if the wind hadn't been blowing at it, if not more. And yeah, you just sometimes have to credit the other guys for making a good play, and that's exactly what that was. I would say in high school, that certainly is no more than a 50-50 chance of getting thrown out the plate. So that's a case where you win some and you lose some, and we'll go ahead and go to inning number 5. So after 4 full innings of play, your Athenians lead it by a score of 2-1. And Mr. Austin Warren comes on for his 5th inning of work, throwing very good baseball.
Yes, he has. A little bit of a hiccup that first inning. He has been very efficient.
Well, the Hot Dogs will have 7, 8, 9 coming up here, and so a good inning to kind of go clean again. And really, if we look at it, Jared, I've got him retiring 10 batters in a row. Does that look about right or not?
No. We had a Boone that got on via an error.
Okay.
He hasn't allowed a hit since the 3rd batter of the game.
Yeah.
Leading off for the Hot Dogs.
He's allowed 3 hitters to get on. He's given up 2 errors, or four hitters, 2 errors, a hit, and a walk. Only one base runner since the 1st.
Yeah.
That was an error.
Yeah. Okay, the hitter is Compton, playing first base today. Here's a pitch, just a little bit inside. This one's taken off to the right side. Will Coleman says, I want it. He's under and takes it for out number 1. So 2 pitches, 1 out. Good ratio for Austin. And
the third baseman.
I don't have a pitch count. You didn't do a pitch count, did you, today? Okay, I just say.
I think Warren is comfortably in the zone.
Oh, I do too.
I think Lopez, though, could be. And Lopez really hadn't allowed that many base runners either, but man, he went into a lot of deep.
Yes, that's right. Okay, well, first pitch is in there, and a ball to Deacon Spencer. Here's a ball fouled off to the left side. Spencer playing third base. He's the one credited with the assist, making a perfect throw to the plate. Nail Cam Saunders in the bottom half of the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a ball fouled off to the right side, so Austin ahead on the count. Here's a pitch taken down. Kind of wanted to go, but wisely held up on that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball right there for strike 3. That one had him froze at the plate.
6th strikeout for Warren.
The second baseman, Jade Ayers.
Ayers coming to the plate for the 2nd time. Here's a pitch inside. See, Ayers last time flew out to center field, yeah. And he, I've forgotten his ground ball third. Staying down on the play. It's got in and he airmails it, but stretch over there by Will Kalman. He got it. He really didn't get on top of that throw too well, but nonetheless an out as Ayers grounds out to third. So in the top half of inning number 5, the Hot Dogs 1, 2, 3 and gone.
Start times for the home and away series with Lebanon both are a 6 p.m. first pitch.
Okay, referring to the games next week, PA announcer David Rayner.
That's another thing to notice too is we know Crawfordsville has Tuesday, Thursday, but who they play at the end of next week. I mean, when you're talking about chasing 21 seasons and stuff like that, those 2 games are important. Benton Central on Friday night here. Benton Central
is having a good year.
Having a really good year. They have some key wins. And then Covington's ranked in 1A, and they're having a strong year as well. They come in here next Saturday, so it's going to be a busy week for the Athenians. And
yeah, well, You know, and you're right, and they're definitely games you want to win because you're against quality opponents. I think probably at the same time though, when you measure it, put them on the scales. Probably these conference games are most important because not only because I think they would be any year, but especially after last year, as far as the Athenians go, it becomes maybe even a little more so.
And I think that's why Coach Froge and Athletic Director Bryce Barton, they're going to schedule. Instead of sprinkling those games in the middle of the week, you want to schedule those. You want to schedule a good competition the weekend. You win your conference games, whatever pitching you have left. You go and compete in those games, and because those two teams are going to be in the exact same boat as you are.
All right, Athenian catcher Caleb Coombs to the plate for the second time. He was hit with a pitch the first time. Here's a ball fouled off the left side.
Like take North Montgomery, for example, this week. They play Frankfort, and they're going to sandwich they have a game with West Lafayette on Monday. And then the next week, they're going to sandwich a game in with Rossville in the middle of the week on a Wednesday. And Rossville's a team that's very strong. They were state runner-up in 1A a couple years ago.
There's a pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball grounded out. Christian Lopez has it on the first base for out number 1. Well, Caleb has hit a lot of balls hard this year and really not gotten much out of them a lot of the time, but that was not one of them. All right, here is Austin Moats. I can't tell you how many varsity at-bats Austin has had, but it's not a whole lot.
No.
He did get some down in Tennessee, as I recall, but was playing, getting more JV at-bats. And here's a pitch taken for a ball. Well, we're in an unusual situation this year with the low number that the Athenians have on the roster, and with Owen Bennett not being able to participate, and hopefully he can get back in toward the latter part of the season, and also with the Feliciano situation that we have with the J. Here's a pitch taken, and that's 2 balls and no strike. Good player that we have that could be helping the varsity, but not eligible until way late, and so kind of hamstrings us a little bit as far as roster situation. Here's the pitch, and that's inside, so 3 balls and no strikes. Moats a pitch away from being a base runner. Austin with a RBI his first time, grounding out to second base, but that allowed McCarty to come on in and score. Here's the pitch taken for a strike. 3-1 now. I don't know. I might have seen a signal and then a change. I don't know what I saw. I know I did. That's strike 2. There's an example I want to talk about. Coach Froge putting that take on with a freshman up there in a 3-1 count. But it's just one of those things that Athenians do that really most teams don't do in that situation. Here's a 3-2. Grounded again, Lopez over to pick it up. Here's a throw to first base, and it cannot be handled. Moats, and he had the right instinct to go, but then he took a second look and didn't go, and because the backup would not have been there in time. But anyway, he is on, and that'll be an error on. You want to give it on the first baseman or Lopez?
I think it's on Lopez.
Okay,
he threw it wide. You have to.
No, you're right.
The runner's running down and going to be a bang. When you're running in the line of sight of the runner, you have to throw it to where your first baseman can make the grab.
He put the first baseman in a bind there. Okay, top of the batting order now with 1 down as Will Kellerman comes to the plate. Will 0 for 2 today. Here's the pitch. That's a strike. Moats not a base stealing threat. Coach Froge running through. It's not impossible to have a hit and run, however. Here's the throw to first. Moats back in head first as he was almost caught moving toward second base. Will squares the bunt and takes this one inside. One ball, one strike, one down, and one on. Here's the throw to first, and again, Moats back in head first. Grandfather Larry Moats, a one-time head baseball coach here at Crawfordsville. Here's a pitch swung on a foul. Of course, his daddy, Brett Moats, is really a fine baseball player, both at the high school level and collegiate level. Will behind on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Throw to first once again. I'm not sure whether Lopez is throwing over there because he thinks he's a threat or whether he thinks it's just a good chance to pick somebody off. He's got a freshman over there, but he's not stealing. Here's the pitch taken up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Lopez continues to run the pitch count up. Here's the step back and fake throw. Lopez, as you mentioned, Jared, working very slow. Here's the pitch. Breaker. Oh, Will wanted.
He wanted to go, didn't
he? He did not look real smooth right there, but did the right thing, took the pitch inside, and now we got a full count. Now we might think about running, as Will's a pretty good contact hitter. But now we've got to watch our freshman over there. He's going to throw over, and he's back in time. And Lopez just as well understands a 3-2 count might allow the runner to go. The young man wants to make sure he quick pitched him. Here's a pitch popped up. Now Moats going back properly. So third baseman, good job. He kind of ran, I'd say, almost a full circle from start to finish. But
enough. Coach Froach had to duck out of the way.
I tell you what,
the wind was just.
Deacon Spencer, only a freshman, has made some decent plays down there today.
Yep, he was the relay man on the cutoff home on the.
Yeah, and he's thrown a couple guys out first, and played good ball. Well, 2 down now. Now bring up Carson Scott, who struck out his last time. Looking, he takes that pitch for a strike.
I thought it was interesting to see Spencer, hitting second in the lineup, but not hitting second, but that was Boone. But a couple freshmen in the lineup, but you can see why Spencer's in there defensively for sure. Heads up place for the Hot Dogs. So defensively, the Frankfort's been pretty smooth.
Throw to first once again. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 away. Carson Scott playing third base today. Carson came around, scored the first run for the Athenians after he'd walked. Here's the pitch grounded right back to Lopez. He's going to go get it after it's off the glove. The throw's got Scott for out number 3. So nothing across for the Athenian in the inning. For the Athenians, there were no runs on no hits, and there was 1 Athenian left on base. And there was also 1 error on the Hot Dogs. So after 5 full, your Athenians lead it by a score of 2-1. Yeah, we do have a pitching change as Cam Saunders comes on, and we'll look around and see now that down at third base it's Austin Warren. Carson Scott will be moving back to second base. we have Moats now moving from second to left field, and I think those are all the changes, but the big one now out on the mound is we have Cam coming in with a 1-run lead here in the top of the 6th. So neither team so far getting a lot of offense going. Okay, we now Mr. Andrew Martin will go out to left field for Moats. Moats had gone out there, but now he's coming back to the dugout, and that may possibly be just a change for the time being, as Martin has been playing left field most of the time defensively. So
Carson Scott is at second base, and number 2, Austin Moats, is in left field.
No,
it's Andrew Martin, but Moats.
Well, Moats was out there, but I think
the biggest
Moats could take the next at bat.
It'd be interesting to know what Warren's pitch count was at to bring him out of the game.
Yeah.
But got faith in your other,
well, we can turn it over to our senior, number 1 on the staff right now. Here's the first pitch, fastball for strike. Cam throwing hard. He threw hard over at Western Boone.
Yep.
Is probably not as sharp with his command, but I think he had 12 strikeouts in the game. Very effective. Okay, well, we got number 7 at the plate, and this is a young man that's got good wheels. Takes that one for a ball. Top of the order, Roger Angeles, and he's the shortstop for the Hot Dogs. He was on base and scored the only run for Frankfort. Here's the pitch, popped into right field. Jake is in, over to his left, takes that ball. He likes that one-hand catch, and that's okay as they stay, if they stay. But anyway, 1 down. Top of the 6th, your Athenians lead it by a score of 2-1 here in a, shall we say, pitcher's duel?
Yeah, it has been. Defensively, pitching, it's...
Pitch taken for a ball.
Just 2 extra base hits. Both came in the first inning.
Here's a pitch inside. Yes, Sandoval put one into left center field for a double, and Mr. Austin Warren answered for the Athenians with a double into right center field. Pitch swung on and missed. Fastball that went in under the hands.
The left fielder, Connor Boone.
Connor Boone is the batter, and he is so far today 0 for 2. He swings and misses at the fastball. So the count even now at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Crawfordsville is actually number 29, Andrew Martin.
Here's a pitch, a check swing, and he did not go. Ball gets loose at the plate, so the count runs full. So Cam needs to get one around the plate this time. It almost hit him. So, runner on down to first base is Connor Boone. Base on balls, 1 on, 1 out.
The designated hitter, Jose Valdez Sandoval.
Well, here's the aforementioned Sandoval, who doubled in the first inning, driving in the first run for the Hot Dogs. Runner with a lead at first base, not probably a threat to go right here, but we'll see. Hitters 3 and 4 for the Hot Dogs are pretty good sticks. First pitch taken for a ball. Runner is going, and Coons can't come up with it, but that ball I think was in the dirt, Jared. Or if not in the dirt, it was very much down, but anyway, he could not field it cleanly, and the runner is down to second base now with only 1 down, and right here in the heart of the batting order. So work cut out here for Cam Saunders. 2 balls, no strikes. This pitch is taken too high.
That's a tough one to take there for Sandoval, but
Sandoval, after doubling, did strike out his second time. Whoa, we had a play on. Might have looked pretty good. But time is called. So 3-0. Cam Saunders needing a strike here. And he gets it a fastball right there down the middle. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Breaking ball right there. Well, I don't know. I think you throw a 3-1. You might throw that same one on 3-2.
Yep. If you're confident, you can throw it for a strike.
He did, and he struck him out, and it was not a strike, but he had it in a good spot to make it look like a strike early. So big second out there. As now I can tell you what's going on here, but probably everybody can. Yeah. Lopez is a much better hitter than the next guy.
An intentional walk.
You can, I can say you can point him down to first base, or you can throw 4 and let him go on down.
I would just. Yes, he would be the go-ahead run. You would put on first base, but with the conditions today, as well as Crawfordsville, obviously Saunders is not Warren, but he's came in and thrown hard. I think you just completely. It looks like they're going to maybe try to pitch carefully to him instead of just intentionally walking him. But
all 3 of our guys are doing a lot of pitching.
Nope, never mind. Coach now comes out and says, "Help."
Yeah. Base on balls, and Lopez on down to first base. So we're going to go to work on Wilkins here.
I remember one time a junior high game at Baldwin Field when I was in middle school. North Montgomery trying to pitch around Chris Minks, and they threw one too close to the plate, and he hit it out for a home run. So there's always that chance that.
There's a breaking ball right there for a strike as Wilkins gets frozen at the plate. He's not much more frozen than maybe some other people are here today, but here's the 0-1. Line drive, 1 high. Boy, long way to go that time for Carson Scott to get to second base to cover, but he got there. Force out. So 6-4, fielder's choice, and the Athenians continue to hold on to the lead, and that was big, getting through the heart of their batting order, Jared.
That should be smooth sailing for Saunders when he gets back out there, because the bottom of the lineup is really struggling for the Hot Dogs.
Well, and you've mentioned it, but this is a big ball game. You have a chance to go 5-0 in the conference, and really maybe only a couple other teams that have only 1 loss, something like that. I lose track real quick, but and it is early. It is early, but this was a real leverage ball game for the Athenians if they can pull this off and get this win.
There's no doubt about it.
And I have looked at the whole schedule, but and I don't remember exactly how it comes out, but as I remember, we play these guys as our last conference game of the year.
Yes,
and so we'll have to go at these guys again, but this will be,
play North Montgomery on Monday, Tuesday, Frankfort on Friday, and then you end the regular season with McCutcheon at the beginning of the next game.
Yes. Yeah. But if they hang on and win this ball game, this would be 3 losses for the Hot Dogs.
3-game lead over Frankfort.
Who are certainly one of the favorites to win the conference.
Well, they'll be 6th in the conference standings with a lot, or fifth. Western Boone and North Montgomery are still winless. Tri-West has 1 win, so they would be fifth. I think it's going to be interesting. Like I mentioned earlier, Danville might be that team that's kind of the mystery. They're 2-1. They have not played their second game with North Montgomery yet. They just had first pitch down at Southmont, Danville and the Mounties, and Southmont's 3-1.
Well, yeah, one of them's got to lose.
That's right. That's right. One of them has to lose. So, and then Lebanon 3-1. And I think that's the biggest surprise. And like everybody knows, when you have a kid like the Harker kid, you can beat anybody on any given night.
All right, Josh Blackburn leads it off here. Here's a pitch taken up high. Bottom of inning number 6. Your Athenians lead at 2-1. And hoping that this is the last at bat for the Athenians. Here's a pitch. There's a breaking ball. That's ball 2. Christian Lopez going all the way so far today. Certainly one of the better pitchers in the conference. Here's the 2-0. There's a fastball on the outside part of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, ground ball through the 5.5 hole and into left field. And tell you, once I got through the infield, it slowed up. Here's a throw back to first base as they're trying to pick on Blackburn there a little bit, but he's back in time. So Josh Blackburn keeps up the hot hitting and starts off this bottom of the 6th in the right way for the Athenians. Now Austin Warren, who got the big hit for the Athenians in the first inning. Coach Froge might still even think about a bunt here.
Yeah, that insurance run would be huge.
Blackburn, a good runner, but not really a base stealer as such, but he's running, and we fake, and the throw is high into center field, and the backup holds it right there so that no further advancement is made. But now Blackburn in scoring position with nobody out. Now the Athenians kind of right in the middle of their batting order. A couple of good RBI batters coming up, and need to put the bat on the ball right here and keep things rolling. Insurance run here would look mighty big. Here's that pitch, inside corner, and so Austin Warren down on the count 0-2 here. Here's the ball fouled straight back out of play. Well, I think we've seen one, I would call it a weakness in the hot dog game, and that is their inability to stop the stolen base.
Yep. You're exactly right. No exchange has been smooth.
The 0-2. Here's a base hit into right field. Oh, my, I called that bad. Right, you know what? That right fielder was not where I thought he was. He easily put the ball in the glove and really might have been sometimes think about running on that, but I think right there you probably in fact, he probably thought the same thing I thought. The ball was hit. He probably jumped off the bag.
Exactly. I was looking out toward the right fielder, but my guess is he wasn't waiting to tag. So he was scoring potentially if that got down.
Exactly. All right, 1 down, and that brings up Cam Saunders. He swings and misses a breaking ball, and he might have kind of put a little extra pressure on the wrist or something there as he came through. He dropped the bat. So Warren putting the ball in play, unfortunately, where the right fielder could bring it in. So 1 down, and Blackburn waiting to get moved all the way around. Here's a pitch, and this is up. 1 ball, 1 strike. A a lot of winter clothing in front of us here, Jared, right here on the stands behind home plate. Runner going. Here's a ground ball right side. Foul. And I'll tell you what, Blackburn had it stolen. But Cam thought it was something he might be able to handle. It appeared to really jam Cam, if you don't mind my rhyming there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big at bat here for Cam Saunders. Jake Decker on deck. Athenians have been thrown out at the plate 1 time tonight, and so that insurance run's not easy to get. Here's the pitch. Oh, my goodness. So we really stretched the zone that time as Cam swings at one that might have almost been over his head.
Maybe Cam's saying, 1 run leads. A 1 run leads enough for me. I want to get some warmer clothes on.
There you go. We'll leave it up to Jake anyway here. Jake, it's a guy that might bunt if we had a man on third, but sits down, no advancement as the catcher keeps the ball in front of him. And actually, Jake struggled bunting last time. Although I have to say that Jake, over the course of his career here as a Athenian batter, has been a pretty good bunter. Here's a pitch. Ground ball off of Lopez. Shortstop over, has it, no play. That'll be a base hit, but unfortunately that leaves us in a place where Josh can only go to third.
But a very, very smart play by Angeles there at shortstop. He tries to make that throw to first. Blackburn scored.
So first hit of the game for Jake Decker. Runners now in first and third, 2 down, and that brings up Cale McCarter.
Cale McCarty.
Cale 1 for 2 on the day. Now, situation here, Jake again not a burner, but boy, you got to think about maybe going ahead and run this first and third here.
Run. He's not throwing them out.
You know, now we haven't done it in a while. We've got the old that ball's inside and gets loose. I lost that ball for a second, so did the catcher, but it went forward
as soon as he comes in.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say we might use the old bait him to throw the ball.
Run down, get that run across. Yeah. If Blackburn can get a sizable lead, which you would think that he could with Deacon in front of the bag, he's not holding him on. It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take long for him to be able to score if you got that run down.
Well, Cale's put the ball in play both times today, which is a good sign, and that's what we need here. And hopefully he can find a hole. Short lead at first, but we could still be going. Nope. Here's a pitch taken up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Lopez.
He wants to walk him.
he was saying he looks like he wants to pitch to the freshman Caleb Coons.
But I tell you, either that or he's saying he wants.
Or maybe he wants out. I don't know, but it looked like to me he was saying moot.
One reason Coach Froese may not be wanting to do that move, it was with the veteran Lopez on the mound. He's smart enough to, when that happens, to make the right decision. Although anything in the spur of the moment, if the runners do their jobs correctly, it is tough to get that out at this level, because all the moving parts have to be made and crisp, and it's just, if the base runners do that trickery, if that's what you want to call it, correctly, you're going to score almost every single time.
Well, you got 2 experienced runners on the base, which you would think that we wouldn't run into an out, going through there. But anyway, I think that in this situation, I'd probably be moving the guy on down to second. If for nothing else, the only play that might be available is a force out at second base.
Right.
I'd like to take that off the chart. Here's the pitch, and that's taken for a strike.
And then a base hit would score 2 runs more than likely with 2 outs. You're running
absolutely
the bat.
2 balls, 1 strike. Cale McCarty, 1 for 2 on the day. All right, now we've got a little communication going on. The catcher, Jack Wilkins, steps out, and he's got everybody alerted to what they want to do. And they're thinking the same thing, I'm sure by now. They've been warned that they might be running that play. Throw to first, back in time. Well, again, Jake, definitely not a burner, but an experienced base runner. All right, the 2-1 pitch now. McCarty check swings. Here's a fake throw. Nobody's biting on the fake, and now we have that second and third. I believe that pitch is called for strike 2.
No, ball.
3. All right, 3 balls and 1 strike. So advantage to McCarty here. Coach Froge run the signals through. There's no take on this situation. This is one we'd just as soon have a base hit right here. And a pitch. That's ball 4. Not sure he was too concerned about that one. Well, here comes Coach Dudley out.
That'll be it for Lopez. He has to come out. Does he not?
Well,
I thought you couldn't do more. I thought the second mound visit an inning, you had to make a change.
Yeah.
Isn't that a rule?
He pulled his. See, the umpire. Did you see? But I guess he was just marking that was.
I thought that was a rule.
Second base.
Third, maybe. Well,
Caleb Coons now at the plate. Athenian sophomore catcher. Caleb on the day, 0 for 1. He was hit with a pitch. Pitch gets away, but no advancement.
I mean, Major League Baseball, in an attempt to shorten the game, they have actually gone to, they've numbered your mound visits as a total. So
Yes.
I still don't quite understand. That went in effect last year. Some different rules, as far as you gain some, you lose some, or whatever as the game goes on. But
Here's the ball, gets away, and this is going to score Athenian run number 3 as Josh Blackburn picks up the ball, getting off the glove, and immediately on his way to the plate. So a 3-1 lead now for the Athenians. Everybody moves up, and the base hit now would really widen the gap.
And now he is definitely done.
Yep, he's got to go now.
He's going to bring somebody off the bench. It's going to be Jose Valdez Sandoval.
Well, he's going to bring in the best he's got left there, and that's, I mean, this game's not over, that's for sure. I mean, 3-1 is not exactly a real comfortable lead. I mean, it kind of seemed like it in this ball game when runs have come at a premium, but I think that we don't probably want to get the feeling too confident here at this point. Give me these other 2 runs we got sprouting out there, and
exactly. You'll take the runs you can get them. There's no doubt about that. As much confidence as you have in your defense and Saunders going back out there, you'll take any type of insurance runs you can get.
Number 2, Christian Lopez, is now in right field for Frankfort.
Well, I tell you, this weight, especially if we get 2 more runs, this weight is really worth it on one hand. On the other hand, sometimes in this kind of weather especially, it's hard for that pitcher to stay warm in this situation.
Yep.
And although I think that last swing that Cam took might have kept him warm for a while. that pitch Well, yeah, let's put it this way. I think it was the worst pitch that had been swung at all day long, but for sure, by anybody. Although, Frankfort has taken some ugly cuts at some of the pitches that certainly Warren offered earlier in the day. Okay, we're ready to go again. Sandoval, the new pitcher, on for the Hot Dogs, and at the plate, number 23, and what are we at there? 2 balls, no strikes. Now the pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. 2-1. We've got a lot of room out there at second base, and he's moving almost up to the shortstop. Here's the pitch taken up and in. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Caleb Coons. Another wide one here would load the bases once again. This pitch taken on the inside corner. Caleb about ready to toss his bat and go down to first base, but I think that was at least very close to that outside corner. Here's the full count pitch taken inside, and that was a tough take, but proper. It was definitely inside. Let's put it that way. All right, that'll bring up Andrew Martin for the first time.
The left fielder, Andrew Martin.
Andrew moving in to play left field last inning for the first time. So he's hitting now in a position that was occupied by Austin Moats. So change is made. We've got a pinch runner now. We got a timeout. Is that Fitcher down there at first base?
19.
Let's see here.
I think it's Alex Keller. No, Alex Keller's 2. He wears 2, right? I put my roster back in my bag so it wouldn't fly away.
Yeah,
19. Might have to look at the JV there. Oh?
Alex Kellerman.
It is Alex Kellerman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Your eyes are better than mine. I couldn't tell whether it was 19 or not, actually. Here's the pitch. This is in there for a strike. Andrew Martin with the bases loaded, and the Athenians leading at 3-1 here in the bottom of the number 6. And a base hit would really, well now, Mr. Martin pulling off and breaking ball had him fooled. So he's down 0-2. Here's a pitch. He swings and misses. It gets tagged out as the ball short hops the catcher. So in the inning, the Athenians do come up with 1 big run and now lead it by a score of 3-0. So after 6 full innings of play, your line score is 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Frankfort Hot Dogs. For your Athenians, they lead it by a score of 3-1, as we said, and they got those 3 on 5 hits, but they have committed 2 and, on my book, 3 errors.
Yep. Tell you, this is not a Crawfordsville score. Some other games going on today. Fountain Central and Southmont playing in softball. Fountain Central is beating Southmont 5-2 in the 7th inning.
That is a little bit of a
shocker.
Yes, yes. Well, I hesitate to even say this, but I did hear that maybe there was a little bit of a, I guess you call it injury situation with the pitcher there at Southmont.
Nolan was hurt in the offseason. She had some type of a back injury. And there were some questions in the offseason, but when spring rolled around, I heard all systems go.
Okay.
Southmont struggled. I really, Crawfordsville's softball's had trouble getting people out, but I'm really looking forward to when they play Southmont. I think it'll be 2 great games. Crawfordsville's scoring the ball very well.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting people out.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a pretty pretty good lineup and
top to bottom.
decent team on the field. It just got to keep working with that pitching.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Cam Saunders to the plate, and this one's up as Casey Henry, the center fielder, steps in. Henry 0 for 2 on the day. Next pitch swung on and missed. That was a high fastball. 6, 7, and 8, and we hope that's all for the Hot Dogs. This top half of inning number 7. Timeout requested at the plate. Here's a 1-1. Edison taking on one hop to third base. On to first base and one down as Austin Warren got the easy hop and made the perfect throw.
The first baseman, Braden Compton.
I think you saved me once on a pencil or pen.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, we got not the dropsies. We got wind up here. It keeps rolling that thing around. Although it almost feels like the wind has lessened a little bit, Jared.
I think more so it's changed direction.
Okay.
It's coming a little bit more out of the northwest than the north, so it's crossing us up just a little bit.
Tell you what, my chair's about to cross me up here too. Here's the ball fouled off and out of play. The count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Brandon Compton, first baseman, hitting. That's way up high. 3-1 now. That ball's too low, so not what the doctor ordered there. It's Compton walks on down to first base.
And that's what's so important about getting that run in the bottom of the 6th inning. You got 1 out. Yeah, you got a runner on. Who cares about that runner? He is not important.
Yeah, we got a pinch hitter. This is Kevin Lopez Perez, and he's only a freshman, but a pretty good-sized young man stepping in here.
Pinch hitting for Frankfort is number 20, Kevin Lopez Perez.
He's hitting for Spencer. Throw to first, runner back in time. I don't think that young man's going anywhere over there.
No.
Now Saunders out of the stretch and the pitch. He swings and misses. Cam back to first base, and he's back in time. Breaking ball. It's a little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 on. Saunders to the plate. That's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch swung on and miss. Strike 3. So 2 down. And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Ayers.
The second baseman, Jade Ayers.
First pitch, first strike. So Cam trying to put this one away here. Next pitch right there. Ball gets loose and the runner not going anywhere. So no balls, 2 strikes. Ayers 0 for 2 on the day. Breaking ball right down the middle, and Ayers knew it, and this ball game is over.
Your final score, Crawfordsville 3, Frankfort 1.
So Athenians,
Congratulations to Austin Warren.
a 3-1 victory, and now 5-0 in the Sagamore Conference. So really a position where we kind of now look like we've cleared some things out of the way a little bit, and now going next week against really, and this is going back to my time, I realize this, but when you talk about having a rivalry, 11 and Tigers,
That's right.
days of old, were the number 1 rivalry for the Crawfordsville Athenians. And so next week, good challenge with the Tigers having split with the Hot Dogs earlier. And so we know that they certainly, and Mr. Harker over there, have one of the better pitchers in the conference. So here, Jared, I'll let you, if you have any final summary as far as the way you saw the ball game, but and if you have any, I don't know, I didn't actually give final totals. The Athenians, I believe, had 5 hits, but the 3 runs, what was the most important statistic there, and holding Hot Dogs down to 1. So those are vital statistics, and I think that our pitching looked pretty good with maybe saying that we'd rather not have the walks there in the last 2 innings, but on the other hand, the strikeout total, I think, was something around 8 or 9.
I think it was 9.
9
3 for Saunders,
okay.
6 for Warren. Just 2 extra base hits. Both teams, the line score read Hot Dogs 1, Athenians 1 in the first. And then Crawfordsville took the lead in the second, added the run of insurance in the sixth. So Crawfordsville spotted Frankfort a 1-0 lead, but came back. Defense held their own. A couple mishaps in the field that kind of led to that 1 run in the first inning, and they hunkered down.
Okay, well, that's it here, and we're going to actually have a JV ball game, but we decided that we would not webcast that one today, but there will be a game if anyone wants to come out and battle the cold here. We'd invite you to come on out and watch this JV game. Athenians JV, a very good ball team, and certainly well worth watching. So here again, the Athenians victorious today over the Frankfort Hot Dogs by a score of 1. And I want to thank, once again, Mr. Justin Duggar for showing the pictures as well as we can do with one camera. Remind everybody we don't have a big league set up here, but I know Justin gives you a good look at things. And, Jared, I tell you what, appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
I talked about this before. Your JR schedule keeps you running all around, and you stay on top of it. So, Jared McMurray, thanks again for helping out. And this is Dan Welliver, then closing off by saying good afternoon and good Athenian baseball.